What's up, Spud Nation? Welcome to the Sports Coach, where all we do is hand out winning fantasy football advice. I'm your host, Craig. Thanks for tuning in. NFL draft just got over with. Who got some much needed help? Where are the studs going? Is it going to help their fantasy stock? Is it not going to help their fantasy stock? All these questions, plus some questions from YouTube, some Facebook followers, some Twitter followers. We got questions galore. Let's get going. If you don't know how to get a hold of me, Craig at thesportscoach.com. You can email me anytime. Hit me up on Facebook, on Twitter, at thesportscoach, and of course you can find me on YouTube. Find me anywhere, people. This is what we do. I answer your questions and we win. Alright, fantasy football season is right around the corner. Did your team improve through the draft? Here we go. Let's see. I know a lot of you have questions about your keepers. And did the rookie come in? Is he going to steal your thunder? Well, let's get to it. We all knew Andrew Luck was going to be an Indianapolis Colt. Obvious. Like I said in my previous show, Andrew Luck, he's not going to jump out and set the world on fire. I just don't see it happening. But he did get some much needed help. The Colts were very smart. They went out and they stole Coby Fleener at the beginning of the second round. Nobody thought this kid was going to be there. He was Andrew Luck's #1 target last year, and guess what? They're back together in Indy. Not only that, the Colts went a step beyond, and what did they do? They went out and got him another tight end, another solid tight end. We're going to be seeing a lot of 2 tight end sets in Indy. They went out and got Dwayne Allen. What do you do for a rookie quarterback? You go out and you get him tight ends that can make plays. Look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady's loving Gronk and Hernandez. It's all you need. So he went out, he got Fleener, he got Dwayne Allen for Mr. Andrew Luck. Great tools and weapons for Andrew, but running game is lacking in Indy. Offensive line is going to need some help. Their defense, they have a couple good players. Indy is rebuilding in a major way, and they're doing it through Andrew Luck. Build around your cornerstone. So, there you go. Don't expect huge numbers from Andrew Luck, but Coby Fleener could be a very sneaky play. He's a lot like Rob Gronkowski. First year, I was high on Rob Gronkowski. Last year, sang his praises, and guess what? Gronkowski's been a beast for 2 straight seasons. I see Fleener kind of that type. You don't just forget about your go-to guy from college just because you're in the NFL. Fleener, Luck, look for this connection to stay hot and put up some nice fantasy football numbers. RG3 went #2 to Washington. Again, no shock. But the major shock for the Washington Redskins is they turned around and drafted a quarterback in round 4 in Kirk Cousins. What are they thinking? No one knows. Are they doubting their #2 overall pick already? Not sure, but I'm assuming the red carpet is going to be laid out for Mr. RG3 to step in, take the reins, take his lumps, and be the starting man in Washington. You don't go out there, give up that many draft picks, give up that much for a guy that you don't intend to start and be the man. Not bad. Not a bad insurance policy by going out and getting Kirk Cousins later on in the draft. Trent Richardson. Here we go. We got a question coming straight from YouTube. What is the value of Montario Hardesty now that Trent Richardson is a Cleveland Brown? Well, let me tell you, Hardesty's value went from being possible 20-plus carry guy to now sliding in there just to give Trent Richardson a breather. Richardson can catch the ball. He can pass block. He can run the ball 20-plus times a game, and the Browns knew all this. They went out and they got him. Great signing for Cleveland. I think Richardson's going to have the biggest impact as a rookie running back this season, just due to touches alone. They brought in a rookie quarterback as well. They're going to need to rely on the running game. The offensive line is pretty solid running behind Joe Thomas. So look at Trent Richardson. This dude is going to get the carries. He's going to be the starter. And you know what? Hardesty, again, falls off the map. Every time it seems like that guy's going to get his chance, an injury hurts him, or someone better just steps in and plays. Hardesty, if any of you out there are thinking of keeping him, drop him instantly. He has no value, no keep value whatsoever. There you go, Trent Richardson, big time draft pick for those of you in the fantasy football world. The Jaguars went out, they took Justin Blackmon. Unfortunately for that kid, it could be the end of his career. The Jaguars are horrible. They still have Blaine Gabbert at the helm. Thank God they have Mojo in the backfield. But Justin Blackmon is their only weapon on the outside. Good luck to you, son. It's going to be a rocky go of things. Blaine Gabbert is not an NFL quarterback. I am not on his bandwagon whatsoever. I wasn't when he came out of college. And you know what? Jacksonville can continue to struggle with Blaine Gabbert at the helm. They are so confident in their skills that they went out and took a punter in round 3. That says enough about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Move on. Poor Justin Blackmon. I feel for you, man. Ryan Tannehill, again, a guy I'm not totally sold on. Tannehill, I think the Dolphins stretched. They needed a quarterback. I understand all that. Mike Sherman worked with them. Big deal. I understand that too. They could have went many other ways in round 1. Pick number 8 overall. I just don't see it. I don't get it. They can suffer. Miami Dolphins, good luck. Michael Floyd to the Arizona Cardinals. I love the pick. They needed help for Larry Fitzgerald. Michael Floyd was, at that time, the best on the board, so they went out and took him. Arizona's smart. They're wisening up a little bit. They need weapons, and they went out and took what was best available. Kendall Wright to the Titans. I like the Titans receiving core. Not quite sure they needed to go and snag a receiver at this juncture of the draft, but Kendall Wright, he's a little burner. Maybe they think he's got playmaking ability in his tank, opposite of what they have already. Brandon Weeden, I talked about the Browns drafting a quarterback. Brandon Weeden, he's looking like he's going to step in, take over. The Browns have struggled mightily in the past with Colt McCoy at the helm. Not much of a passing attack. Let's see if Brandon Weeden can step in and help them out a little bit. A.J. Jenkins to the 49ers. I thought they were better available on the board. San Francisco must have fallen in love with something with this guy. I know he's fast, but like I said, better available. I thought that there were other guys that the 49ers could have taken. And bottom line, Alex Smith is still their quarterback. He's not setting the world on fire anytime soon. Doug Martin to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers needed a running back. They took one. A little high, if you ask me. Doug Martin, a solid running back, but he is still going to be that guy that LeGarrette Blount, he's going to get his 15 to 20 carries, the big bruiser. He gets better as the game goes on, more carries. But Doug Martin, they needed a guy who can catch the ball, a guy who can pass block. He fills a very nice need. From a fantasy standpoint, Doug Martin is going to be a late draft pick for you. Some people are going to be very excited about him. Don't be. The job is still Blount's, and Doug Martin, he'll get his time. But right now, LeGarrette Blount is still the guy in Tampa. David Wilson to the Giants. Again, the Giants, they needed a running back. Brandon Jacobs left, which is thankful for the Giants. And Ahmad Bradshaw, he's coming off his feet, always being hurt. So David Wilson, a nice fit for the New York Giants. I like the opportunity of his touches more than I like Doug Martin's. So there you go. Then we jump to round 2. The Rams, they finally go receiver. They take Brian Quick. I thought they swung and missed big time on this one. Yeah, Quick, he shows glimpses of greatness. We all know this. But I think they missed out big time on a guy like Stephen Hill. I think Stephen Hill would have been a steal at this point of the draft and would have given Sam Bradford a very nice weapon to have on the outside. Instead, they go Brian Quick. Look at Brian Quick. He's going to get in the lineup right away. The Rams obviously need help on the outside. They need help with their receivers. So they got Bradford a weapon. Not the guy I would choose, obviously, but Brian Quick to the Rams. Stephen Hill, the guy I love, he went to a situation that I don't really love. The Jets, they want to be a pound-it-out football team. Hand the ball off, not throw it too much. Obviously, I wouldn't put the ball in Mark Sanchez's hands. Not a fan of the dude. But Stephen Hill's going to line up right next to Santonio Holmes, be part of that dysfunction over there in New York, and good luck, my man. I wish he would have went to a different situation, such as the St. Louis Rams. Alshon Jeffrey to the Bears. Great draft selection by Chicago. They get a big, tough receiver, not the quickest guy, but he's got phenomenal hands, can go up, steal the ball, will score them some much-needed touchdowns, and gives Jay Cutler a big target that he needs. There you go. Brandon Marshall comes back, Alshon Jeffrey. Chicago Bears have suddenly put themselves in a situation to throw the football. Very nice, Chicago. Ryan Broyles, we're staying in the NFC Central, the North, whatever you want to call it. Ryan Broyles to Detroit. Ryan Broyles is going to be a beast in the NFL. Not this season, so you fantasy owners don't get too excited about this. But you line Ryan Broyles up next to Calvin Johnson, and you have yourself a set of receivers that could do some damage. Great selection by Detroit. I just don't like him coming off his knee surgery. That very first year is always very difficult. So look at Ryan Broyles. He's going to get in the games. He's not going to be amazing, though. Look at that 2-3 years down the road. I like it. It's a great pick. He's working with a great quarterback, and Detroit loves to throw the football. Nice fit. LaMichael James of the 49ers. I thought the Green Bay Packers, they swung and missed. Big time. They went defense. They missed out on LaMichael James. 49ers took him. The pick before, I feel like Green Bay was going LaMichael James after this, but 49ers, they just took him. They threw him into a very crowded backfield. Frank Gore, Brandon Jacobs, Kendall Hunter, now LaMichael James. We'll see what they're going to do with him, but I don't like his opportunity of getting many touches in that very crowded backfield. Ruben Randall to the Giants. Ruben Randall's going to step in, be that third receiver. He's a big dude, very nice receiver. Steps into a pretty good situation, fantasy points-wise. We'll see. Giants love to throw the football around. If he locks up that number 3 spot, Ruben Randall could be a very sneaky late-round pick for anyone out there. Russell Wilson. Keep an eye on this situation. Seattle went out there, they signed Matt Flynn. Great. Matt Flynn has proven himself in exactly 2 football games. Seattle loved him enough to bring him in and declare him their, starter until draft day rolled around. Russell Wilson was staring him right in the eye, and what a great fit Russell Wilson could be for Seattle. Keep an eye on that quarterback battle. I think it's going to be a battle. Russell Wilson's not going there to just sit on the bench. He is going to give Matt Flynn a whole lot to chew on, so keep an eye on that, all you fantasy owners out there. Probably the best pick of the entire draft. I was high on this kid coming into the draft. Cincinnati stole him in the 3rd round. Mohamed Sanu, kid out of Rutgers, big, tall, great receiver. I think he's going to be a very nice fit. You line him up next to A.J. Green. They lost out on Jerome Simpson, but they're sliding Sanu in there. I like the weapons they're surrounding Andy Dalton with. Great selection, Cincinnati. And if you can snag Sanu up in your fantasy draft, you're going to see points. A.J. Green is no secret anymore. He's going to get double, triple coverage. Cincinnati needed that secondary target, and Sanu's going to be the guy. Lamar Miller, little speed burner, went to the Dolphins. Dolphins, let's hope they just improve. A lot of teams are going to stack the box. Ryan Tannehill's not going to kill anybody. So Lamar Miller, look for him to be a nice backup play. But you always keep an eye on those little speed burner running backs. Darren Sproles. If they can use Lamar Miller a lot like Darren Sproles, that's some fantasy production right there. Again, a sneaky late round pick, maybe in Lamar Miller. Nick Toon to the Saints. The Saints use 80 million receivers a game. Nick Toon's going to be one of those guys, sure-handed, Great bloodline. Dad played in the NFL. So Nick Toon, he's going to find a spot in that rotation, maybe the 5th guy in there, but still. Any of you football fans out there who know this, fantasy football owners know this, the New Orleans Saints, you can never be too sure. It's a different receiver every week, and Nick Toon's going to have his weeks of greatness. So it might be a nice buy pickup guy, or just a guy to sneak onto your roster late in the draft. A very sneaky pick by the Minnesota Vikings. I like it. You have Greg Childs, 6'3", a late round pick, going to Minnesota. Minnesota, obviously, receiving core is very depleted. Starting to stack it up, given, their stud quarterback, Christian Ponder, some receivers to throw to. A guy that's 6'3", you like it, good speed. Keep an eye on him. He might end up being the number 2 receiver over there in Minnesota. Pittsburgh, running back battle going to happen. Who's their running back this year? I could see Chris Rainey, running back, little speed guy, again, fighting for this spot. I mean, he's going to fight for carries. They don't really have anyone right now. Rashard Mendenhall's on the shelf for the year. So look at Rainey. He's going to get some carries, and he might end up walking away with that starting job. His size is going to be a question, but you know what? He's played all through high school, all through college. He's fast. Speed kills. So keep an eye on that situation. Last 2 guys I want to talk about. Alfred Morris. Yeah, who? Who are you talking about? I know. 5'11", 220 out of Florida Atlantic. The only reason I'm mentioning a 6th round guy is because of the situation he's going to. He's going to Washington, and we all know what Rat Shanahan does. He juggles running backs like it's going out of style. Keep an eye on this kid. I know Roy Halou, he did very well when he was healthy, but you never know who's going to be the starter week in, week out. I hate owning any Washington running backs, but keep an eye on him. It's just another no-name guy that they're going to slide in and get some carries. So Alfred Morris could be the starter by week 4. Never know. And lastly, Cyrus Gray, running back, going to Kansas City. The only thing I'm leery about is Jamal Charles, his health. Is he going to bounce back? Is he going to come back strong? They drafted a running back, obviously, just as insurance. So keep an eye on that. Cyrus Gray going to the Kansas City Chiefs. There you go, Spud Nation. Any questions, you hit me up. Any avenue, Twitter, Facebook, or my email. Hit me up on my website, thesportscoach.com. Whatever you want to do, I'm here for you. We're giving out winning fantasy football advice. You don't believe me? Check out the results from last year. Till next time, Spud Nation, enjoy and come back. Later.